When it comes to extensions, matching hair extensions and color placement is probably one of the most important parts outside of installing a good foundation of hair. Go ahead and take a look at some of the education that we give you when you take our online course. Let's get into color matching for your extensions. When color matching, you're always going to make sure your client is sitting in your chair with you. Do not ever color match through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, videos, pictures, DMs. Don't do any of that. Your lighting will be off and you can have filters, things like that. You need them in your chair in person so that you can actually see exactly what you're working with. Make sure you have good lighting, so if you can do outside to see their hair, that works great. Otherwise, make sure you have good lighting and you're not hovering over exactly what you're doing, because your body can also shadow the hair as well. Open up and let that light shine through. Next, you're going to utilize your swatch ring. Your swatch ring is going to come in your extension kit, and this is going to be your best friend when color matching. It's going to set you up for success. So how do you do it? Depending on which system you're using, you're going to color match slightly different. We have 4 systems. We have our I-tip, our tape, our K-tip, and our weft. So 2 of those systems are a vertical distribution of weight, and 2 of those systems are a horizontal distribution of weight. So each one is going to be a little bit different, so you want to color match properly for each one. Let's go into our verticals. So our vertical distribution of weight is going to be your I-tip and your K-tip. So with going in with those 2 systems to color match. Here I have my beautiful model, and obviously you can see she's blonde. So let's find the shade that is going to match her blonde exactly. So when you're looking at your swatch ring here, you can definitely take out, obviously, the colors and the darks, okay? When you're looking at your swatch ring, the numbers are only your DreamCatcher numbers for your swatch ring. They do not go with the level system, and they do not match all other extension companies. This is the DC shades that you're going to be using. So you'll see, like right here, DC 20 is going to be my lightest blonde. I know she's not completely platinum, she might want to be, but she's not quite there yet. So I can go down in shades. I'm gonna guess something around, let's look at a 13. So I'm gonna pull out my DreamCatcher 13 shade. Within this, you have your whole swatch. If you were to just put this swatch up to the hair, it's not going to match. It is too dense. Each one of your systems distributes differently. So with taking this, and we're doing it for your I-tip and for your K-tip, you wanna split your swatch about in half. You're gonna split your swatch in half because this is more close to the size of the actual individual extension you will be installing. So now that I have more of that proper size, I'm going to match it through my mid-lengths and my ends. I do not match the regrowth area. This is used for your cylinders, your thread, depending on the system. So for all of your extension length, you're working through your mid-lengths and your ends. So I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to allow that light to pass through and get my extension swatch disguised and lost within her natural. So that one's still just a little bit light. So let's go a little bit darker. Again, I'm trying to make it get lost within her natural. So let's look at a number 11. This one might match better. So again, your I-tip, I'm going to split it in half. This is more sized for your I-tip or your K-tip. Since your K-tip can be customized so much, you could even break this smaller to the actual size you think you're going to be installing for your client. But let's just work with half, because that's more like a full point or a full K-tip. So now I'm going to allow that to fall. So as you see, my now DC shade 11 is getting lost within my model's hair. So I know this is one of the shades that I definitely want to use. So you're matching that mid-lengths and those ends. Let's say my model, she now wanted to do your tape-ins or your wefts. That distribution of weight is a little bit different. It is more of that horizontal curtain type of effect. So utilizing your same swatch, all you're going to do is you're going to spread it out horizontally, more fanning it down, because that's exactly what your weft and your tape is going to do. So then I'm going to lay my swatch right on top of my natural, just like you did your I-tips, but in a different distribution of weight. So you can see it now still gets lost within my natural hair. So I know for sure that I would want to utilize a DC 11 with her extensions. That's to match it exactly. Now, extensions we like to enhance. So what you might want to do is either enhance it a little bit lighter or enhance it a little bit darker. So I found the one shade that matches. So let's say my model wants to go lighter. I know my darkest shade will be the number 11. Let's say she wants to be that platinum, right? She said she wanted to be lighter because she wants to go towards that really bright blonde. I'm gonna look something like, let's say 18. If I decide for my client or my model that this DC shade 18 was the lightest I wanted to go, I now have 2 bundles of extensions that I know for a fact I want to use. What we're working with is going to be called a color buildup, whether it's lighter or darker. Today what we're doing is a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna utilize, let's say 5 bundles, because on average, you're gonna use about 5 bundles, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, depending on exactly what you've gone over in your consultation. But my model, we're gonna give her 5 today. So I've chosen 11 and I've chosen 18. So now to make this blend properly, you want to have a gradient of color, kind of like a palette. You don't want it to be just super blocky. If I was to only add these 2, it might end up looking a little bit stripy for my client. I want it to blend nice and seamlessly. So out of my 5 bundles, 2 of them are taken care of. 2 of my 5, so I have 3 colors to choose from. So what you want to do is you want to take the colors that are in between your darkest and your lightest and try to distribute those evenly. So I have 3 bundles, so I'm going to take it every other. So I'm going to choose a 13, and then I'm going to choose a 15, and she wants to go light, so 17. So within my extensions, I just decided that this was going to be my palette. So when you look, it's a lot softer going from your light to your dark or your dark to your light when you have that evenly distributed. So for her colors, I chose the 11, the 13, the 15, 17, and 18. So as you're going through your application, you can play with how exactly you're going to be installing them. But using that buildup of color will help it match and be more seamless. Laying it through, creating that gradient of color from my darkest shade up to your lightest shade. Working with your color buildup to make it nice, beautiful, and seamless. So utilize your swatch ring. This is going to be your best friend whenever you're doing any of your consultations, but make sure that you're matching for the system you're using. We have that vertical distribution of weight and the horizontal. Again, the vertical is your I-tip and your K-tip. Your horizontal is going to be your weft and your tape. So make sure you're matching properly.
So as you can see, whether you're working with an individual method of extensions or horizontal, how you color match is very important. And it's important to add a lot of different dimensions and colors, as you can see, to really get the most natural, gorgeous blend. If you want to watch more educational videos like this, get signed up on our website today at DreamCatchers.com, or you can call us at 1-855-DREAM-TEAM.